New Mexico, the small town of Las Cruces. The night of November 20th to 21st, 2022. On the outskirts of town stands a quiet house on Calle de Estrellas. Neighbors notice that 69-year-old Cynthia Berenson, known in the area as a kind-hearted woman and caring mother, has suddenly stopped leaving her house. Family members begin to worry, and on November 17th, they file a missing person report. Along with Cynthia, her vehicle, a white Buick Enclave, and her 2 dogs, whom she never left for long, also disappeared. At that time, no one yet knows that the homeowner's body has been lying inside the house for several days. On November 21st, the police decide to conduct a welfare check. When officers enter the house, they are met with a strong smell of bleach. The floors are gleaming, the carpets thoroughly cleaned. But from the bedroom comes a heavy odor of decomposition. The door is locked. After forcing it open, investigators discover the body of Cynthia Berenson. It lies fully clothed in the shower stall, with the faucet dripping a thin stream of water. Everything around points to a meticulous attempt to cover up the crime. From the very beginning, investigators' attention is drawn to the victim's son, 33-year-old Dylan Waller. Surveillance footage reveals that after his mother's death, he drove her dogs and vehicle to California and later attempted to cross the border into Mexico on foot near Tijuana. Several weeks later, he returns to Las Cruces. In the spring of 2023, the police track him down. On April 6, 2023, during an interrogation, Dylan Waller confesses to everything. He says that on that night, between midnight and 1 a.m., he entered his mother's bedroom, placed a plastic bag over her face, and then began to strangle her with his hands until she stopped breathing. After the murder, he left the body in the room for 5 days until the smell became unbearable. Then, together with his acquaintance named Bianca, he moved the body to the shower, turned the water on to a thin stream, and began cleaning the house with chemicals. Everything that reminded him of what had happened, the clothes, gloves, and bottles of bleach, he took to the city dump. In April 2023, he was charged with first-degree murder and evidence tampering. After several postponements, the trial began in December 2024. The jury listens to the confession, sees photographs from the crime scene, and watches the interrogation videos. A few hours later, the verdict: guilty on both counts.
Have a seat, Dylan. Okay, you'll be fine, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Dylan. So I'm Detective Melinda. This is Detective Money.
What's up, guys? Just chilling.
So we want to come talk to you. We're investigating some stuff, but we want to just kind of get some basics from you.
All right.
I know you got picked up the other day here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was trafficking or something like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So obviously, since you're in custody, we're not related to anything of that, but obviously because you're in custody, we're going to provide some Miranda warnings. Make sure you understand those.
Okay.
The interrogation begins calmly. Detectives Melinda and her partner enter, introduce themselves, and speak in a friendly manner, creating the impression of a casual conversation rather than an interrogation. It's a classic tactic to make the suspect relax. Dylan Waller behaves calmly, smiling as if he's sitting with friends at a cafe. Such behavior isn't normal for someone under investigation. He's clearly not new to this. Since 2015, he's had prior cases involving drugs, drunk driving, and domestic violence. That's why he feels confident when his rights are read to him, but he doesn't ask for a lawyer, which shows he overestimates his own abilities.
You want to talk to us once we get into everything about what we're here for?
Sure.
Okay. Let's just confirm your date of birth. Where are you currently staying?
I'm homeless, actually. I was actually in the process of actually getting an apartment this Monday.
Oh crap, where at?
Either off of Fleming, Missouri, or I was looking at the apartments off Telshore.
Okay, nothing specific.
Nah.
Just kind of looking
It was all up in the air.
Okay. Before, how long have you been homeless?
I'd say like about about 5 months.
5 months. Prior to that, where were you living?
I was staying with my friend.
Okay, and who was that?
I don't really have to give a name.
Okay. In the city or in the county?
And what's really just Donian is like more out, right?
That's county, yeah.
Okay, yeah, then in the city.
Okay. And prior to that, where were you staying?
Let's see, with my friend Cassie.
Cassie. Okay. And prior to that?
Pretty much kind of between her and Tom.
The detectives continue the interrogation calmly, moving on to simple questions. Name, date of birth, place of residence. This is no coincidence. They're creating the illusion of a casual conversation, so the suspect starts talking freely and without his guard up. Dylan answers willingly, but immediately tries to present himself as a victim of circumstance, saying he's been homeless for 5 months, subtly hinting at a hard life and lack of stability. It's a way to evoke sympathy and justify his situation. When the detective asks who he lived with before, Dylan suddenly refuses to give a name. I don't want to say. But only 20 seconds later, he reveals the name of his friend Cassie, and then another, Tom. This moment is important. Someone truly hiding something usually stays firm, but here, there's an instant backtrack. Dylan tries to appear open and harmless, yet his answers are contradictory. He's clearly nervous, even if he's trying to hide it. For an investigator, that's a signal. Behind the calm exterior lies an attempt to obscure details about his whereabouts. It's from such small inconsistencies that an interrogation begins to unravel.
In regards to anything else going on, you got picked up on this warrant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess you had a DWI that you absconded from a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At what point, when's the last time you lived with your mom?
Shit. Let's say I last talked to her probably about like October, September-ish.
It was the last time you talked to her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I stayed with her for like a week or so. That's about it.
Okay. October, September? And how did that go? I know you guys had
it's
tumultuous past. And
yeah, it was kind of always a conundrum with us. We've tried this and that. I haven't actually gone to talk to her at all. I tried to call her, but I don't know. Like, and then being on the streets, I don't know, just like, it just got out of hand. I don't know how else to say it.
so the last time, and that's on that Calle Estrellas.
Yeah.
Right? The last time you talked to her would have been October, September?
Yeah, maybe like about, September 12th or something.
September 12th. Why does September 12th stick out?
I don't know, just given like a date in general.
September 12th-ish? Okay. And what caused you to leave?
Just us not having like, you know how to say, good morals anymore. We always were getting on each other's cases, just being around each other too much.
Good vibes together.
Yeah, and then finally, like, even when I saw her, say, do you think I could probably stay here? She's like, I don't think it's a good idea. And I was just like, all right.
Okay. What was the kind of the background of that? When you're going to start getting over?
Basically, just my history of being a drug addict on the streets and this and that. You know, she gave me multiple times to try and this and that, and I always failed. And, you know, so just had to learn to live with it.
Uh-huh. Okay. What was it like the last time you talked to her?
It was all right. You know, we had to talk for a minute and stuff. And I don't know, I could just feel that it wasn't really yet that time to, like, move back in and shit.
Uh-huh. Okay. Outside of that, did you guys have any other dealings, phone calls,
Can't really say.
like supplement stuff? Did she send you money?
Oh, no. The only other time she actually really helped me out was I was last locked up. Was it 2020? She put a $100 bail on me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I continued with court. And then I turned myself in to do those 3 months. And then we tried to reconcile then. I stayed for like 3 days, but within those 3 days, it just showed like, no way.
Yeah, it didn't work. Okay. But as far as that September, from September on, she didn't funnel you money, didn't give you anything, any help out or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay, so how would you get stuff? How would you pay for stuff?
Well, I actually get SSI.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm disabled from cancer.
Okay.
I had what you call Ewing sarcoma / bone marrow cancer.
Uh-huh.
So I had tumors on my pelvis and my hips. So I had my right pelvis and have my hip removed.
Okay.
Yeah, so even though I've been homeless, I've been able to, pay for, like, say, a hotel here and there, and this saves what I need.
And that's directly to you, right?
Directly to me.
Okay. Is that like through a card?
Yeah, I get it on my Citizens Bank.
Okay, and it's your account.
My account.
Okay, is she on that account at all?
No.
Okay. So, in regards to, like, having any additional contact with you, haven't had any contact with you?
No, sir.
Okay.
The detectives move on to the main topic, Dylan's relationship with his mother. His answers sound evasive. He says he last saw Cynthia in the fall, sometime in September or October, but then gives an exact date, around September 12th. Such behavior is suspicious. A person trying to be honest usually doesn't get confused about when they last spoke with a close relative. Here, it's clear he's choosing his words carefully, trying to sound confident. He describes his relationship with his mother as difficult. He says she didn't want him living with her again, supposedly because of his past involving drugs. With these words, he's already justifying the distance between them, laying the groundwork for the explanation. We hadn't spoken in a long time. I had nothing to do with it. Then Dylan tries to portray himself as sick and vulnerable. He talks about having survived bone marrow cancer and claims to be living on disability payments. Dylan is constructing the image of a sick, lost man who hasn't been in contact with his mother for a long time. But an experienced investigator recognizes this as manipulation. He's cutting emotional ties in his story to draw attention away from himself and undermine the motive for the crime. In reality, their connection persisted, and behind his show of self-pity was constant tension and dependence.
Any trips, like in the last year, out of state, out of country, or anything like that?
No.
Nothing like that. Okay. Have you ever had access to your mother's cars?
No.
No. Okay. So this is where it's going to get important, where we talk about things about basically your last contact with your mom.
Okay.
Okay. Your mom's deceased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Your mom's deceased.
You're bullshitting.
No. So
How could she be deceased?
your mom was found November 21st of last year at her house, deceased.
How the hell am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know if you're just hearing about it now. That's what we're here to talk to you about. You've been gone in the wind for the last 8 months, okay? So the reason why we're asking you questions and we come here and we ask you specific things is because we're trying to lay out a timeline, okay? And find out what's going on. And I already know you've told me a couple untruths. I'm not going to call them lies yet, but you've already told me some untruths. So it's important that we sit down and we talk and figure out what's going on, what happened, did anything happen, did you walk into something? Excuse my language, but shit needs to be put on the table today. Okay? Because right now, I've got a couple holes already from what you just told me in the 5 minutes I've been here. So, compose yourself and let's talk. Because I didn't just come in here out of the blue, right?
Yeah.
So I need you to be straight with me as much as you can. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever it may be, today's the date.
Alright, here's the real scoop. I wind up meeting this transgender online and everything. And me and my mom, we went to go get her and stuff. And we get there, I was living with mom for like last year and stuff. And whenever we were out doing our business and everything, we came back and found her deceased. And I knew I had warrants at the time, so I didn't actually call anybody. I didn't know what to do. And I first thought about fleeing the country, but then I just didn't know what to do.
Okay. So
Because I had a key and everything, and I opened the door, and I'm like knocking on my mom's door, like, Mom, hey, I'm here. Finally, I open it and everything, and I see her and everything, and I'm just like, Mom, I don't know, maybe it was like 3 days because she was already like puffy and shit. So that's pretty much the reality of it. I found her deceased and I didn't know what to do.
Okay, so tell me what you did do. I understand not knowing what you didn't know what to do, but what did you do? Like, there's specifics and details that we know.
Yeah, like the house was cleaned and stuff.
Okay, what else?
That's pretty much really it. I was just so scared because I didn't want to get arrested and this and that, and that's pretty much really it.
What do you mean by the house was clean?
Like I wiped down the counters in case I had fingerprints and everything because I didn't want it like to leak to me like as if I murdered her or something, you know. That's honestly that's as much as I can really say.
What else?
And so I thought about what I did was I packed the car and everything to go to Tijuana, and I was staying with the transgender, like I had her staying with me, and I was like, all right, we'll just flee the country and all this. And once we got to the border, she said she needed to do something, and I was like, all right, because we were going to take care of the dogs and everything like that. So I wound up being in a hotel in Tijuana for about a week or so. And then something happened with her and the dogs. And then I had no money. I didn't know what to do. So I came back in the States. And then I wound up going to the hospital. I was really like dehydrated from potassium and such. That's really just the real whole scoop.
This fragment marks the turning point of the interrogation. The detectives inform Dylan that his mother is dead. His reaction appears unnatural. Instead of shock, he simply says, "You're joking." No pain, no questions about how she died. For an investigator, that's a troubling sign. The person isn't processing the news, he's performing. As the pressure builds, Dylan suddenly begins telling a story full of inconsistencies. He says he had been living with his mother, went out with a transgender woman he'd met online, and when he returned home, he supposedly found his mother dead. He insists he didn't call the police because he was afraid of being arrested, and claims he just wiped down surfaces to remove fingerprints. But the facts tell a different story. The house had been completely cleaned with bleach. The shower, kitchen, floors, even the dishes and food were gone. This wasn't panic. It was the systematic destruction of evidence. After that, he fled, took his mother's car and dogs, drove to California, and tried to cross the border into Mexico with the same woman. He didn't stay there long and returned once the money ran out.
We're going to try to jump back and forth in places on that. So when you end up down in Tijuana, you and you said the dogs?
Yeah, she had some shell teeth and everything, and so like I said, whenever I got in the house and everything, there was like shit everywhere and this and that, you know, because like I said, I cleaned up and everything, make everything look nice and this and that. I said I was just so freaked out, I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do.
Okay. So you end up, this transgender, what was?
She goes by Bianca. I don't know her actual real name.
So you guys end up over there, you load up the car, you end up down in Tijuana.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, actually, you guys cross?
Yeah, well, I crossed over. She said she needed to do something to make sure, like, her food stamps and everything was still able. She was supposed to come back the next day, then she wound up lagging.
She kept the dogs, right?
Yeah, she wound up lagging, and then all of a sudden, I hear that she gets arrested or something, and then the dogs, I guess, were gone, and that's when I started, like, I didn't know what to do. So then I just crossed back over, and yeah, this is just something I've been, like, it's just bound to happen.
Yeah. So loading up the car, describe what you loaded.
Oh, just like, you know, necessities, shower gel, clothes, pretty much that, dog food and this and that. Because, like, yeah, like I said, we were going to go to Tijuana, and I was like, because like I said, I was like, warrants and this and that. I was like, what do I do? I was like, do I just own it up like a man, say I found her, own it up like a man? What do I do? So yeah, I just was freaked out. And
so when you say necessities and stuff like that, describe we were there, so we've seen everything. So describe the kitchen to me.
The what?
Kitchen.
He was
Fridge, cabinets.
yeah, it's cleaned out and everything. Just emptied out all the food and this and that.
What?
I don't know, just I didn't think of it, wanted to spoil. I don't know, just
You loaded it all into the car.
not all of it, just some of it, to take on the trip. The other stuff that would just been left around, just threw it away.
Into the trash can. There at the house.
Oh no, like one of the dumpsters around Pickwick and shit.
Okay. What about furniture,
Oh, no.
blankets, rugs,
No.
anything like that? Nothing with the living room rug?
Oh, like I said, like that, shampooed it and everything. That's about it.
You shampooed it?
Yeah, because like I said, there's dog shit on it and everything.
And then what'd you do with it? Because it's gone.
Threw it away.
Where did you throw it at?
Pretty much like the same like dumpsters around Pickwick, or the Circle K, the one on Sonoma.
By that car wash, back there behind the car wash stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And you took her car? How did you get to her house?
What's it called? Well, they said we were staying together and everything, and it was actually I went and hung out with some friends for a few days and everything, and with Bianca and everything, and then that's when we came back, and everything was just, the dogs didn't, like I said, it was all, the house smelled like shit and everything. Came back, her door was locked when it's never locked, and I unlocked it and everything, and because there was like a horrible kind of smell already happening, and then found her. I just panicked and freaked. I didn't know what to do.
And what did you do? Tell me what you did. You
I
opened the door to the house or to her bedroom?
get into the house,
Yeah.
and then the
you
door.
see her right away, right?
No, because her door to her room was locked. I started yelling like, "Mom, you good?" So for like 30 minutes, I was like, "Oh, she's probably just in the shower or something." And then that's when I was like, Mom. So then I opened the door and everything, and then I started smelling something, and I walk in the room, and she's like, I see her in the shower, she's just there, and I'm just like, what the? And then I just panicked. I didn't know what to do. Because, living there, my fingerprints are everywhere. I just didn't know what to do. I just freaked out.
Okay. Describe what you did as far as cleaning other than wiping down the counters and stuff like that.
Just cleaning everything, just like I said, everything, wiping off some of the furniture with wet naps, just cleaning the bathroom. That's really
And
much.
so what you're telling me is you found her in the shower?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah.
Nothing that I have is going to be indicative of her being put into the shower. I'm not, bro. I'm letting you either help yourself or dig yourself. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? So I wouldn't ask questions if I didn't have an idea or an answer to what I'm asking you. If that makes sense. And here's the thing. If it was something more than what you're already saying, now's the time to do it. I mean, now's the time to repent or confess, whatever it may be. But it can only get better for you, if that makes any sense. But I need the truth from you, And we can always come back and say, hey, this is the first time he's been confronted with the information.
In this fragment, Dylan continues to develop his version of events, the same story about how he found his mother dead. He describes how he gathered belongings, food, dog food, and clothes, loaded everything into his mother's car, and left with his new acquaintance, a transgender woman named Bianca. According to him, they drove together toward the Mexican border. Bianca supposedly stayed behind while he crossed the border, lived in a hotel, until she disappeared and was arrested. The story sounds like an attempt to divert attention, to create chaos and distract from the essence of what happened. When the detectives return to the details, his lies become obvious. He admits to throwing away the carpet, food, and belongings from the house, so they wouldn't spoil. In reality, he was simply getting rid of evidence. When the detective asks where the carpet went, Dylan calmly replies, "I threw it in the trash at Circle K." The complete lack of emotion, as if he's talking about a routine chore rather than the house where his mother's body was found, is chilling. Gradually, the investigator leads him to the key point, the shower where the body was discovered. Dylan claims his mother was already lying there when he entered. But the detective subtly points out that, according to forensic analysis, the body had been placed in the shower after death. He says quietly but firmly, "I wouldn't ask if I didn't already know the answer." That pressure breaks Dylan. He starts to lose confidence and becomes inconsistent. Dylan still tries to hold on to his false version, but the detectives dismantle it piece by piece with facts. His statements about cleaning, throwing things away, and fleeing aren't signs of panic. They're evidence of a calculated effort to destroy traces of the crime. The story about Bianca is nothing more than a diversion, meant to blur the motive and confuse the investigation. But by this point, it's clear he isn't a bystander. He's the one who tried to erase the consequences of the murder.
Honestly, a lot of what I said is true. You already know the holes and everything. It was getting really bad for her, like health-wise, everything. My stepfather, Chuck, he had a pension or whatever, big amount of money, all right? My mom was getting screwed around. She got scammed, all right? She got scammed out of $100,000. She wasn't even supposed to touch it. Her friend, who's a lawyer and everything, was telling her, like, why did she touch it, that she could actually face prison time and this and that. And like I said, her health was getting so bad and everything. Like, every day was just a battle. Every day, and I had to put up with so much shit. And just, I thought I was doing I thought I was doing the better for her. Because I never thought I could never see my mom in prison. I loved my mom. I loved her. I didn't do it to try and get the house or anything. I only used enough money that she had, to be able to go to Tijuana, start a new life and everything. And I couldn't handle her her being in pain anymore. I just couldn't do it. And when the whole shit about her having to possibly face prison, I could never live with myself. That's when I was like, I'd rather did what I did and go to prison for however long I do than her have to suffer.
For the pain, the physical and the emotional side of that. So let's talk about what happened.
So pretty much, after we drove actually all the way to San Diego to get Bianca, she was living with us for about a month. And I was just always like, I always thought in my mind, like, if she did wind up being able to get sentenced or something, that I would do what I did. Because I couldn't never see her in jail. I've been in jail before, and this and that. She's one of those good people. She was always a good person.
Your mom?
She was a very good person. So just one night, I was just sitting on the couch because she was like just screaming in pain. She was just so in pain. She was crying, she's yelling at me, not yelling at me, but she's just yelling out, what am I going to do? How do I get this money back? Because she got screwed over so hard by guy. And like these scammers and shit, and she was like just freaking out so bad. And I'm like, how can I help? There's nothing I could do. So I don't even know the date. I just went in the room. I looked at her. I gave her a big old hug. And I strangled her to death. That's basically it.
How?
I hugged around her. I just held her as tight as I could around her neck. Just telling her I love her. And I'm so sorry for this, but it'll be better for you. It's going to be a lot worse for me, but it'll be better for you.
Okay. But detail to me how you walked into the room,
I just walked
how
in.
you held her, where she was at.
She was just laying on the bed and everything. Sometimes, I always would have night terrors and stuff, so sometimes I would go in the room and lay next to her and stuff. So she was just laying on the bed like normal. And I lay with her, and then I don't know, all of a sudden it just happened. I don't know what, it just happened. It just happened.
Were you front or behind?
Like on the side like this, and I started doing it, and then she started freaking out, and then I had to like really like get in there and squeeze in her, and then finally when she like
Passed.
she fell on the ground.
So were you standing or laying?
At that point, I was standing up because once I got up and everything, she just like fell over and stuff.
Okay. When you basically reached in to clutch her, you're both laying down on the bed? Is her back to you, or is there...
She was kind of like this, and I was like on the side, and when she started like freaking out, that's when I kind of got a little more on top of her, like that, just around the neck.
So more compression,
yeah,
you think, versus strength? I mean, you
yeah,
said
yeah, it was like at first I was more like that, because I know probably the hand marks are there at first, but then more would start like that.
Did you have her more around the neck or around the upper chest area?
I would say more like that, in a sense, because I know I'm pretty sure it showed like my handprints are kind of like pushed in or something.
This is the moment when Dylan finally breaks and confesses to the murder. After several hours of interrogation, he stops denying the obvious and begins telling his version of events. Now, with elements of dramatic justification, he says his mother supposedly got into trouble, that she'd been scammed out of $100,000, was facing prison time, and was suffering from pain and illness. According to him, he couldn't stand to see her suffer and decided to do what was best for her. In his interpretation, it's an act of mercy, as if he spared his mother from suffering. But it's all a false, self-justifying narrative. The investigation would later establish that Cynthia hadn't stolen any money, wasn't at risk of arrest, and wasn't terminally ill. He simply invented the story to rationalize a senseless murder. Then he describes in detail how it happened. He says he strangled his mother with his hands while she was lying on the bed. At first, he claims it was in an embrace, with words of love and apology, then tighter until she stopped breathing. He even demonstrates to the detective how he wrapped his hands around her neck, how he squeezed until she fell to the floor. His voice is calm, emotionless, cold, rational, as if he were describing something mundane. Dylan openly admits to the killing, but cloaks it in a story of a sacrifice made out of love. It's not remorse, it's manipulation, an attempt to evoke sympathy. He turns the brutal strangling of his mother into a fabricated act of compassion. But the detectives already know the truth. Cynthia was a kind woman who had committed no crimes and suffered from no terminal illness. The only thing he told the truth about is that he really did kill his mother.
What's going through your mind at this moment?
All I'm thinking about that she's just going to be in a better place, that I'll suffer. I've suffered so much in my life. What's in that prison sentence? I've gone through cancer. My dad used to beat the shit out of me. My brothers never liked me because I was a life on the streets. I basically did what I did because my life has been over for a long time. And like I said, I would rather have killed her than ever see her in prison. I would rather go to prison for the rest of my life, knowing that in my heart I know what I did was wrong, but I get it for good.
Okay.
She was in so much pain.
Was she currently seeing a doctor?
Man, these doctors, dude. The devils. Like with my cancer and shit, it took 13 doctors until I got diagnosed just because they just kept thinking I wanted dope. I have taken her to multiple doctors, even just to get a simple fight and do that shit.
Okay, so we'll go back to basically she stops moving, you stand up, she falls to the floor. What happens?
Honestly, I didn't touch her for like 5 days. I was just so freaked out. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't, I didn't, like, it felt like it was a dream. Like, I just kept thinking like she's gonna wake up. And then that's when it just hit me. I was like, I gotta flee the country. Like, I gotta get out of here. You know? And that's when, like, packed up everything, the dogs, drained her account, my account, to have at least enough money to get a little startup over there. And
let's jump there now. We're gonna go back here in a little bit, but let's jump to the draining her account. How did you do that?
Just about, it was like 3 or 4 times at like the ATMs, just pulling out like, say, leave like 800 or something at a time.
And during this whole period of time, where's Bianca?
With me.
She was there when it happened?
Well, she was in the other room. She didn't know what I did until I told her.
How after did you tell her? How long after, right away?
Like about an hour. Because I was just sitting there next to her, just like...
So what was her response?
She was freaked out. Because like I was always telling her, I was like, I swear if she ever has to get sentenced, I'm gonna make sure she doesn't have to suffer that horrible fate.
So this 5 days that you're at the house, Bianca's aware of what's going on, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you guys devised the idea to...
I did.
You did?
Everything was me. Okay. Everything.
When you load up the car, again, you take everything out. Again, the carpet was because of the dogs?
Yeah.
Or was there anything substantial to that?
No, I just cleaned it just because it was just to get rid of evidence.
So when you decide to finally leave, what do you do with your mom?
I thought maybe if I moved her into the shower, it would just look like as if she slipped and fell. Okay.
And then what else did you do? What additional stuff did you do after placing her in the shower? Door open or door closed?
I think I had the shower door open. I just kind of crinked the water a little bit. I walked out, and then I locked the door. Said I loved her one more time.
Did you do anything to her bedroom?
Just cleaned as much as I could.
Okay, describe the cleaning that you did.
Wiping down everything from the cabinets, bedspread, anything I could have had in my DNA, but it doesn't matter what it is, anything is always going to be found.
Other than wiping down, did you move stuff around? Did you make the bed? Did you...
Nah, I think I made the bed, or not. No, I think I left it undone, like as if how she was sleeping on it.
Did you vacuum?
Yeah, like I said, I did everything. Vacuum, cleaned, tried to get as much as I could out. But I already knew it would already come back to me because they knew I was living with her and all that. Like, my brothers don't like me, her family doesn't like me. She was the only one that was ever on my side about everything. Especially when the whole domestic violence shit happened. When I had that bipolar episode. And she cared about me. In my heart, I really felt like I was doing was right. I mean, yeah, I could have just let her go on and on living and getting worse and worse. I just couldn't see it anymore. I just couldn't take it.
Dylan continues to play the mercy card, saying he sent his mother to a better place and is ready to suffer and serve a life sentence. It's a classic manipulation through pity. He lists his own misfortunes, cancer, childhood, life on the streets, to justify the murder and shift the focus away from motive and evidence. By the end of this fragment, the true background of their relationship surfaces, reminders of the 2018 domestic violence incident, his mother's hospitalization, and the restraining order issued against Dylan. His tale of a single bipolar episode falls apart. There had been multiple instances of aggression, including shortly before the murder. This destroys the image of the son savior. What emerges is a complete picture of guilty behavior, the confession to strangulation, the self-serving actions, withdrawing money, taking the car, fleeing, the staged accident, and the systematic destruction of evidence. The monologue about mercy is nothing more than a cover for the violence that had been going on for years.
So what you're telling me, the physical stuff that you did, is going to match physically what we have from the autopsy and everything, you believe?
Because I know at first I was like this and everything. She was moving, and then that's when I went like that, as hard as I could.
What if I was to tell you that's not consistent?
What do you mean?
What if I was to tell you that?
Well, because I physically and everything, and then like pushed more in, but kind of like pushing in.
Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to do is basically you reaffirming what you're telling me happened is what I'm going to physically see.
Yeah.
What I physically have seen already. There's not going to be any variances. It's not going to come back and say, well, he started off lying. Now he's just continuing a lie.
Yeah, because like at first, when I was like on bed like this, and then on her like that, and then I started pushing, and then she woke up, and then started moving around, and I pushed her down more, and then started going like that, and then just really started pushing in like that. I don't know how much more else I can do, basically.
So you're saying approximately 5 days?
Right, about 5 to a week before leaving.
Any alcohol, drug use during that period of time that you were there?
Oh, yeah. Well, as you already know, I got caught up with a second-degree trafficking.
So what happened with Bianca? Where's she at?
Last that I know, she's in Tijuana.
Did she eventually go back down there? Well, you said she got arrested, right?
Yeah, something about she got arrested at the border. I don't know what happened with the car and everything, because we left it for a second, and we were first going over to get me over, and then she was going to get the car, go do what she had to do, and then cross it over, and then we were supposed to go deeper into Mexico, and then just start a new life. But it didn't work out.
What connections other than you here in Cruces does she have?
I actually have no. This is where it's going to sound crazy. This is where it's going to really sound crazy. We only knew each other for a month before me and my mom went and got her.
Okay.
I literally don't even know her real name. She's a transgender. There's a lot of stuff I don't know about her.
Prior to your mom's, did you guys stay anywhere else together?
No.
Okay. And you had told me you were staying with Cassie, was it?
Those are all lies.
Okay.
Everything in the very beginning was just all lies. Everything I said these last 5 whatever minutes is all the truth.
Okay. Who were you staying with prior to that?
Her. It's only been my mom and me.
So this whole time that you were supposed to be out of the house, the restraining order,
She's been hiding me.
you haven't been.
Nowhere else. She's been hiding me.
There's Jeremy,
No.
Ortiz, Tom.
No. Those are just friends I would see here and there.
Okay.
When she falls off the bed.
She hit her head on the thing. On the
what?
end table. I think she hit her head on the end table.
Which end table?
So the bed's here, end table's here. She has 2 end tables like that, table like that. So once I got up and everything, she just popped over and was kind of like this.
When she landed, she was face down on the carpet.
Yeah.
So when you went into the room, she was laying down. When you walk into the room, right, she's laying down on the left side of the bed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that where she normally slept?
Yeah, because Chuck would always sleep on the right.
And then that's when you go and lay down with her?
Yeah, for a moment. And then that's when I just hear it in her breathing as she's sleeping, just the pain.
Did she take a lot of medication?
Yeah, but none of them were pain.
Okay.
Because I said these doctors are just horrible. They're just horrible.
When you went into the room, was it morning, night, afternoon?
Night. Probably around 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning.
Like midnight is when you went in there? Was she dressed to go to bed?
Yes. Exactly what you found her in was what she was wearing.
What she was wearing. Okay.
What do you remember that to be?
I think just a nightgown. Maybe it's either a nightgown or it's a shirt and pants. I can't really justify what it really was.
And when you go in there, you're saying it's about midnight. Is that is she asleep? Is she?
Oh yeah, she was asleep.
Okay.
I said, I could just when I laid next to her, I could just hear the pain in her sleep. Just a heavy breathing. And then I don't know, it just I was like, I can't take it. I can't take her being like this anymore. I was like, I'd rather her go to heaven than have to do it. And that's when I said my life has just been after one after the other. And I was
So
like,
what's been going through your mind since then?
I'm just this is it, right there. Just waiting for this day. Can't hide it, can't lie it. I've just been, it feels good to finally get it out, but.
Did you tell anyone else besides Bianca? Just you and Bianca know what happened.
That's it, nobody knows. Nobody.
When you came back from Tijuana, where have you been?
I've actually just been on the streets, really.
Just here or El
Yeah,
Paso? Or?
here, just cruising, because when I crossed back over and everything, I had no money on me. The car that I hired to cross me over and everything, I had weed in it and shit. So I was like, you know what, I'll walk across and everything. So I wind up not reconnecting with the guy. So all the rest of nothing it's the 1,500 I had was in that bag. Weed, this and that was gone. So I'm literally in San Diego on my own, no help from no one, no cell phone, and it was I think it was 4 days that I was just wandering aimlessly, not knowing what to do, and then I came to this. I don't know, I was so dehydrated. I was just not all there. I came to this hotel and for some reason I thought that Bianca was there or something. And the guy looked at me like I was crazy. I didn't really understand how I looked at the time. So then he was like, yo, you can't come in, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. Then all of a sudden, I really felt weird. I was like, yo, can you call the ambulance and stuff? All I had on me was literally my driver's license. That was it. Because when I went through the border, that was all I had. So then I wound up they took me over to Chula Vista Hospital. I was there for about 5 days. The social worker there helped me get a ticket back to Cruces, and I've been here ever since, just waiting for this day.
At this stage, Dylan has fully confessed and now seems to be clarifying details, though in reality he's only getting more tangled in his own story. The detectives compare his statements with the autopsy results and immediately point out that his description doesn't match the physical injuries on the body. This is a key moment. Everything he's said so far collapses when it comes to specifics. Under pressure, Dylan keeps changing the details. One moment he says he strangled his mother on the bed, then claims he held her down when she started moving. He even adds that she hit her head on the nightstand. This is clearly an attempt to explain additional injuries that don't fit into his gentle version of the killing. He then admits that everything he said earlier was a lie. In reality, he had been living at his mother's house the entire time, even though he was legally prohibited from doing so under a restraining order, and she was hiding him from the police. In other words, the woman he later killed was the only person still protecting him. He once again returns to the night of the murder. He says it happened around midnight, that his mother was asleep, breathing heavily, and that he couldn't stand to see her suffer anymore. The strangulation occurred while she was sleeping, an act of cold calculation, not a burst of emotion. After the murder, he calmly stayed in the house for 5 days, emptied her bank accounts, removed evidence, staged an accident, and then fled. In the end, he admits he had been in hiding all along and had been waiting for this day, as if his arrest were not punishment, but a kind of release from the weight of what he'd done.
So when they told me, my first gut was Dylan, her son.
Why is that?
Because I've been in the house and I've been with her, and he's got a dark side. And I know she had the restraining order, and she lied to her son Corey, because he just told me. I've never met Corey. Dylan was troubled, and because I'm a therapist, she wanted me and my husband to see Dylan. I said, no, it's a conflict of interest. So when Peggy notified me, that's just my gut. I mean,
Who's a dark side?
knowing mental health. I mean, he would be explosive all the time, yelling. And then she was an enabler. She would enable, and say, don't say he's here. So I was always firm with her. And I was just concerned. Now I feel bad if something happened because I didn't reach out for her. Did she die?
I just, I
I know. No. You contact her son. The concerns were he yells. He's violent. But I thought he was out of the house. So in speaking to Corey, he said she had a restraining order. Didn't know. She gave me the keys because and it wasn't verbatim, I'm a bad historian. She said, if anything happens to the dogs and I'm out doing errands, come and feed them. I said, okay. I was reluctant to get the keys because I was like, I don't want to overcommit. So, and then when she had her son come pick up the last check for our last dog, which was October, I think, they were on the phone.
Corey?
Dylan.
Okay.
Yeah, Corey lives in Texas. I heard him yelling. And my husband said, Cindy, you don't need to tolerate that. That's really the last time I heard Dylan. I don't know what day it was. So, and just her being an enabling mom. And then just talking to the neighbors. They heard it all the time and they never called law enforcement. It's like, who does that? Why would you do that? I tried to tell you. So, Dylan is very troubled. She would always make the excuse that he had cancer. I said, Cindy, get him into the house. So, and I felt for him.
In this fragment, we hear the voices of those who knew Cynthia Berenson personally, her friends and neighbors. And they all say the same thing. When the police reported her death, the first person they thought of was Dylan. Her friend, who worked as a therapist, recounts how Cynthia hid her son at home despite the restraining order, and even asked neighbors not to tell anyone he was there. Everyone knew he was short-tempered, aggressive, prone to fits of rage. The woman admits she had heard Dylan yelling at his mother over the phone, and her husband would tell her, "Don't let him treat you like that." But Cynthia, like many mothers, forgave him everything, excusing his behavior with his illness and difficult past. Neighbors confirmed the same pattern: shouting, banging, cries for help. Sometimes Cynthia would come to them with visible injuries, but no one called the police, out of pity, fear, or hope that things would get better. All of it forms a clear pattern: years of repeated violence that ultimately escalated into murder. And now, when Dylan insists during the interrogation that he did it out of love, these testimonies sound all the more horrifying.
Anything else you want to talk to us and tell us about?
That's pretty much it.
Okay, as far as your mom's cards, the stuff that you use, what did you eventually do with those?
Through.
So, here in town, or?
Yeah. Just like in some random dumpster by some church. Because I knew like the next day it was going to get picked up and tossed.
So any truths or fallacies as far as using the dumpsters at the Circle K?
Yeah, some of it dumped in. A lot of the other stuff like went to the dump yard, dumped a lot of stuff out there. Like, I don't know why. It was
multiple trips?
Yeah, about 4.
4 trips from the house, loading stuff up, taking it, getting rid of it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, like you said, you pretty much cleaned everything just to...
Yeah, because like everything was supposed to be... Because we found a place over in Tijuana for like $700 for a house. Like, kind of like deep in it. And we were just going to start a new life. And, you know, this was just going to be something I was going to have to live with for the rest of my life. And at that time, I was pretty content with it. But when she didn't come back and something happened with her at the border, I just was so lost. I didn't know what to do.
Okay. The cleaning supplies at the house.
Oh, just stuff like just like Pine Sol, Clorox, disinfecting wipes. Nothing like seriously like as if I'm a chemist or anything.
But like, did you take them, leave them?
Oh, like Ed threw them. Like as you saw, the fridge was empty, the pantry was emptied. You know. I don't know why I got rid of food. Like I said, I don't know why it was so important for me to get rid of the food. I don't know why, but that's really.
What did you think? Like eventually she was gonna be found, or how she was gonna be found? What was your thought process?
I just thought maybe that's what I'm saying too. It really didn't matter because like she had a friend named Ronnie who knew I was staying there, and if she was found dead, there would only be like one connection to me. You know, so I don't know. Like I said, this was just something I just been waiting for to come and to face the music.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe if you guys could put in, because I'm going to be doing Fed time most likely.
Yeah.
Whatever happens with this, I would like to do the Feds.
You on the Fed side?
Yeah, I don't want to do state. I want to be in the Feds.
I mean, we'll speak on it. I've got to call them back a little bit too and talk to them a little bit. Like I said, these are the ones that it's better to get everything out than to continue with certain lies and even some of the stuff that you told me. I'm not going to take everything 100%. So if I go back and things don't match up, that's probably not going to look good for you, right?
Yeah, because the other thing too is you'll probably find fingerprints around her arms because I had Bianca finally help me get her into the shower.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some more of the truth. But honestly, when I first did, I tried to use a bag, and then she fought me. And that's when I got my hands around her, and that's when I really started pushing it, and then with all my might. So then it kind of wrapped around like this, and then just really just like there was no like blunt trauma. I didn't bash her head in or anything. It was like I was trying to like say my goodbyes.
Okay.
So you're trying to use a bag at first?
Yeah, because I thought maybe if I used the bag, it wouldn't show my handprint, so it wouldn't lead to me right away. But the more she fought, and when she freaked out that what I was trying to do, you know, she screamed out like "Help me, Jesus!" and everything. And if I leave now, she's definitely gonna call, and that's attempted murder. So then I was just like, just do it.
And that bag.
It was just like a black normal bag, like a trash bag.
A big hefty bag?
Yeah, like a big hefty one.
Oh.
But bitch is strong. She's always been a tough one. Oh, she's always been a tough
What did you do
one.
with that bag?
Like everything else, just threw it away.
Okay. You said you had to get Bianca to help you.
Yeah.
So when you moved her from the floor to the
It was just normally like I was like grabbed her wrist and just went like that. Put her in the shower. The ankles, and so when I put her in the shower and everything, I kind of put the bag on her face because I couldn't bear to look at it. So then, the day that we were to take off and everything, I went in the shower. I could already smell her, like just whatever. And then when I pulled the bag off, my hand was shaking so bad because I already forming. And then I kind of just sprayed her down with some chemical cleaner. I don't know which one it is. And then she turned on the faucet, and that was it.
Describe how she was laying in the shower.
Just like that.
Was she flat? Was she
Yeah,
propped
just
up?
like her head was a little bit against the back part, and it was just like that. With the lotion, like the conditioner bottle, that maybe she like was going in to turn on the water, then slipped and fell.
I appreciate you talking with us, and I appreciate you telling us what you've told us. Again, there's some stuff we're going to go back and clarify and verify and whatnot, but you know, I hope everything you told us is consistent with what we have and what we're still finding out.
Yeah.
So, you know, these are evolving things as they go. In the event that we have additional questions, you want to talk to us again?
Yeah. Because I'm already going to do time, so this will just be another charge. But if you guys could put in a word, I would. I want to do federal.
Okay.
Because, I mean, pretty much I'm going to be doing federal, so, and then the prior charge that I have is with the state. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. In my heart, I really felt like I was doing something good for it. I really did. It was the way that it had to be.
Yeah. All right. Any messages you want us to relay to anybody?
No, not everybody hates me. All my brothers, they never liked me. Her family doesn't like her. They don't like me. It's literally just been me and her. It's only been me and her.
And even as Robert has been between the two of you, it's
She
been the two of
always,
you.
yeah, it was always just us. Like I said, especially with the whole restraining order. Because at the time too, when I had that one warrant, she couldn't take it off. It had to be more than like 3 years or something. And then I had another warrant, but she needed help a lot. I needed help too, so she would hide me and this and that, you know.
Just a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything else. If we need to, we'll come back and talk to you.
Yeah.
All right. And then we'll call we gotta go back. We'll call the feds and the states.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, if you really can, because I just hear that the feds are a lot better.
Yeah.
like with programs, like I'm probably gonna be doing now that I've confessed to this probably like what 20 years or something. I'd rather at least be in federal doing something good, like getting degrees, and because I love to read and all that shit. So now that I've confessed and everything, I just would like a little help like that because I'm willing to do the time. I just don't want to do state. I don't want to do state time. I want to do federal. If you guys can somehow help me out like that.
We can mention that. We
We
can
can mention
mention
it.
it.
Obviously, any charge that we come up with is going to be a state charge,
Yeah,
but we can. A lot of times they'll work stuff out,
yeah.
do concurrence or whatnot. So, alrighty. Any questions for us?
How did you guys hear? Like, how did you guys even get over there? Like, what happened?
Car, concerned neighbors. You were seen there,
Yeah.
so
Wow. That wasn't too long even. You said the 21st?
yeah. I think
Anything?
it was the 21st that we got there.
And I think it was like, was it the 8th? I know it was November. No, that was like just a week later. The 21st, that was just like a week later.
Yeah, there wasn't a huge gap of time. It might have even been less than a week from the time you left to the time
That's
we found her in there.
alright, guys.
And we can't divulge everything.
Yeah, I gotcha. I know you can't say names and this like that.
Alrighty, we'll get you going, get you back up there, and then we'll kind of just kind of stand by for stuff. I know you got a hearing tomorrow.
Yeah.
What we talked about today it may affect what's going to happen there tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty. No other questions for us?
Nah.
How about another hearing to go back?
At the end of the interrogation and investigation, everything became clear. The court found Dylan Waller guilty of first-degree murder of his mother, Cynthia Berenson. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 30 years, plus an additional 3 years for destroying evidence. Despite all the proof, blood traces, financial transactions, and his attempt to flee the country, Dylan insisted until the very end that he had killed his mother out of mercy, claiming he only wanted to spare her from suffering. But the court, the witnesses, and the family's friends saw the truth. It was not an act of love, but the continuation of a long cycle of violence, manipulation, and selfishness that had lasted for years.